Hi guys, Mark here with Wolters World, and today what we're going to talk about is globalization and assessing global markets so companies can know what kind of marketing strategies they should use in the new countries that they go to. Now, when people talk about globalization, what you need to realize is globalization is just the processes by which goods, services, toys like my Doctor Who TARDIS here, okay, money, information, how it passes across international borders. All right? And the thing is, over time, we've seen that the differences between countries and between cultures has kind of broken down. So there's not so many differences. So I can find a TARDIS toy for my kid. You can drink German beer whenever you want, anywhere in the world. Okay? That pizza you eat, hey, you know what? If you're not from Italy, you didn't have it first. Okay, so that is globalization. It's the fact that we have so many different things from all over the world going together, and we're becoming one more international playground out there. Now, if you ask, hey, how did globalization come about? Well, one, it became easier to transport goods, so you could have the big ships and stuff, but also it used to take 6 months to go from England to the US. Now it takes 6 hours, okay, in a plane. So the logistical side of things made it easier. We had, the big containers you can ship stuff in, all kinds of stuff. Also what changes, basically there became more standardization. So it's not a big difference. If my plug here in Germany works the same plug in France. We don't have as many changes, so we can start selling product in more places. Okay? Also, basically the processes of making products became more global. We started making products in China. We started buying, getting our apples from Chile, all kinds of stuff. So all these things came together to help bring about globalization. So, if you're looking to assess global markets and try to decide where you should go and where you shouldn't go, there's 4 main areas that you're going to be assessing. 1, you're going to do an economic analysis, so you're going to have these metrics out there to see what's going on. 2, you're going to look at the infrastructure and technology that's in that country that you're looking to move to. 3, you're going to look at the social cultural dynamics in that country to understand how they do business, how things work there. And then also the 4th thing is, how does that government deal with international trade, with international investments? And so these 4 are the main things that are going to actually influence you in your decision making. Now, if we start with an economic analysis, basically the better off a country is, the better chance you have of making money there. Because if people don't have any money for food, they don't have any money for your new product. Okay? So when you're looking at assessing this, you're looking at looking at the GDP of a country. You're looking at the purchasing power of the country. Because you might have to adjust your prices. Say, hey, if people make $500 a month versus $5,000, hey, you're going to have to adjust some prices here. Okay? Also, you look at the market size itself. Is it a big market, or how's the growth rate? Is it growing or shrinking? That will influence it. That's why 20 years ago everybody went to China when China didn't have a lot of income, because they knew, hey, it's going to grow, it's going to be big. Okay, and now it is. All right, look at a picture from Shanghai from between 1990 and 2010. It is completely different. Okay, now after you have the economic analysis, you look at with the infrastructure. Okay, how are the roads there? What's the transportation like there? Are there roads going to where you want to be? What's the supply chain going to be like? Do we use big trucks, or do we have to have little, bicycle people going there? That's going to influence you. How is commerce in that country? Are they used to, is it a barter system? Is it straight payments? Do you have to do some kickbacks, which are illegal, okay, wherever you are? These are things you have to look at. And also, communication, okay? We think, oh, well, I'll just pull out my iPad here and I'll just check out and see everything online. Well, the thing is, guys, if they don't have, 3G, 4G, LTE networks, you can't use it. So you're like, okay, we need to do something here. Now it's going to be lots of mail versus email. These are things you have to think about when you're going into a new market, okay? Now, the next thing you look at is social cultural analysis. And you basically want to use, one of the big things is Hofstede's model, which I actually have a whole video just on that, so if you want to learn more about it. Basically what he did is he looked at what's power distance like in that country. So how, is your boss God? And you're like, yes sir, or is it equal? Are you buddy with them? Second thing you look at is uncertainty avoidance. That's how they take risk. Is it a country that accepts risk, or a country that does not like risk? Okay, these kind of things, because if they accept risk, hey, they're more likely to buy different and new products. If they are risk avoidance, well, maybe I don't have 15 versions of Fanta, I just have 2. Okay. Other things you look at: individualism. I mean, what is it, a me first country, or is it a group first country? Okay, that's going to influence, because think of your advertising. If it's a me first, you're all about the person making themselves better, and if it's a group society, a more non-individualistic society, then it's more, hey, we're part of the team kind of stuff. And then you look at masculinity, which is as sexist as it sounds. Basically, look at it as how equal are people in that society, men and women. I mean, can everyone, is it like Finland where anybody, it's 50-50 going all the way up? Or is it like other countries where, there is a glass ceiling for women? How are we going to deal with those things? Okay, that's going to be there too. And then you look at time orientation. Okay, the time orientation, is it now, or is it that people think long term? Like the U.S., it's more short term. Okay, time orientation. So that's why, hey, we want the stock price up today. I'm not thinking long term. I'm thinking now. How's that going to affect your investment? How's it going to go there? These kind of things. And then the fourth thing you look at is government actions. Okay, what will governments do? I mean, do they have tariffs there? I mean, are they going to tax you for coming in or for selling there? Or do they have quotas only limiting a certain number of products that are there? What's the chance they may boycott your country? So, they're not going to accept any products from the U.S., so how worried should I be? Also, do they have any, trade agreements? I mean, hey, if you're in the EU, it's great. Once I get into one country, it can go everywhere, all right? With exchange controls, what you look at is how do countries control their exchange rates? Are they manipulating prices? Are they manipulating how it is? These things will matter because your exchange rate will influence your imports and exports to and from a certain country. So we've assessed the market out there. We've seen kind of where they stack up in terms of infrastructure, in terms of economic development, the culture in general, how it is. But what are some other things that are going to influence our actual marketing strategy? Because we do that big assessment to figure out, yes, this is a country I can go to. But just because it looks like it's a great thing doesn't mean you're going to do the exact same thing you've done everywhere else. So when we're choosing a global marketing strategy, some things you have to look at is, one, cultural nuances. What are the little differences in the culture there that can influence your business? So if you're McDonald's and you're looking to open up more restaurants in Spain or Portugal, well, what you got to realize is Spain and Portugal, they don't eat lunch until 1 o'clock. So there's no reason to open up your restaurants at 10. Okay, so we need to adjust our timing, how we're going to where we're going to sell our products. Another thing you look at, are there subcultures in that country? Because the thing is, a country isn't just one culture. It's not one culture, one country. Sometimes there's multiple cultures in one country. If we look at Belgium, you have Flanders where they speak Flemish, and you have the Walloons that speak French. And within there's two different cultures within one country. So how do we play with those things? Other things, how do they view your product? Maybe in your home market you're the cheap alternative, but in the new market you're going to be the expensive alternative. And with that, hey, maybe we can do some different positioning. I find it funny because we talk about Levi's and Wranglers in the U.S. and it's kind of, they're like cheap. My grandma wore them, my dad wears them. I guess I wear them too, but still. Old people like me wear them. So they're like, $40. But then if you go to Germany, there's a Levi's store that sells Levi's for $250, and I'm like, what? I don't understand. 200 euros, 250. Why would anybody pay that? Because they position themselves differently in different markets, which can be a good thing, because you can open up yourself to a whole new brand of customers. Okay? And also you look at, just in general, what kind of things do I need in order to adapt to the different markets out there? Okay? So is there little things I need to do, big things I need to do? If I'm going to a country, they have small roads, maybe I don't sell the Hummer, I sell a Ford Festiva or Fiesta or something like that. Okay? Other little things you might want to look at, what about the needs of the target market? You may say, we're Kohler. We sell toilets and showers and stuff like that, shower heads, and we see, the market we're going to Argentina, and a lot of it is that the showers are actually, the water's there. It's not coming through a pipe, it's there, and you just heat it right at the thing. I travel around South America a lot, and there's little times where I'm clicking a switch on inside the shower to turn the heater thing on. That's a need for that market. We could do something for them. Okay. Other things, difference in technical standards. If you ever bought a DVD in the U.S. and try to take it back to Europe, or buy one in Europe and bring it back to the U.S., it doesn't work because they have different standards out there. And the last thing you probably want to look at, and which is very important, is whether to adapt to the language, because sometimes you can have products that have the completely wrong meaning. If you call your car Nova, which is cool because, it's an exploding sun. That's really cool. That's really great. But you try to sell it in Mexico, Nova means doesn't go. Okay, so look at the language differences, or you need to change things or not. This will all influence it. So I hope that gave you a rough idea of what globalization is, how you assess global markets, and how that's going to influence you in terms of making your marketing strategy. Now, if you're looking at what you're finally going to do, there's basically three options. One, you're going to sell the same product everywhere in the world. You're not going to make too many changes, like an airplane. Okay. Two, you're going to be some slight changes. McDonald's, you go anywhere in the world, you can tell it's McDonald's, but in different markets they have some slight variations. There's no Big Mac in India because don't eat beef, so there's more McChickens there, stuff like that. Or you sell a totally new product. You see that this market has a need, and that won't work on our home market. Coke can't team up with Jack Daniels to make Jack and Coke in the U.S. because it's so family friendly, but maybe in a new market they could do that. I don't know. We're just saying. And then if you look at your 4 Ps in there, your products, we've talked about this with the adaptions. Pricing, hey, you have to look at the different pricing models that are going to be in those countries, because some countries you're not going to be able to do buy one, get one free, because there's laws restricting that. Also, it might restrict on when you can have sales or how much you can put stuff on sales, all these things. All right. If you're looking at place, well, the whole distribution channel, guys, you need to look, there's whole videos on international logistics, because it is so complicated, and it becomes a lot more complicated when you go abroad. And then if you look at international, or global communications or global promotion, how are you going to have the same commercials everywhere, or do you need to make those differences? So you go back to those cultural differences and see what's there. So I hope this gives you a rough idea what's going on in the global market and how to assess a global market, how you should probably go about deciding if you should go abroad or if you shouldn't go abroad, or how you should go abroad, all kinds of stuff. So for more marketing and business advice, please check us out at our website at www.woltersworld.com. Thanks. Ciao.